Hello, everyone. I'm here with Maxime Bernier. He's the leader of the PPC, the People's Party of Canada. Maxime, it's a pleasure to speak with you.
Thank you for giving me that opportunity. I'm very pleased to be with you.
Some of the viewers might not be familiar with the PPC platform. Can you tell us a little bit about who you are and what the PPC stands for?
First, I must say that I'm not a career politician. I did work in the private sector before being in politics for 19 years. I was elected in 2006 as a conservative, and I decided in 2011, no, sorry, 2018, to uh, to create the People's Party of Canada, because I was a conservative at that time, and the Conservative Party of Canada is intellectually and morally corrupt. They're not speaking about real issues for the future of our country. And so we create that new populist political party that is focusing on Canadians and Canada sovereignty, the sovereignty of our country, that is doing politics based on principles. Our four founding principles are individual freedom, personal responsibility, respect, and fairness. And all our policies are in line with these principles. We are fighting for Canadians and we are fighting for our country. That's why we call the name of our party is the People's Party of Canada. I'm very pleased that we are offering another alternative for Canadians to vote for a political party that is doing politics differently by promoting ideas and pushing these ideas. So, like for example, one of our platform is ending mass immigration, because that is having a huge impact on our culture, on our quality of life, our standard of living. We cannot afford that mass immigration anymore. So we are not afraid to say that we must have a moratorium on immigration for a couple of years until we fix all the problems that are causing mass immigration. So the People's Party is there for the people, ready to fight. And if people want to know more about us also, they can always go on our website, peoplespartyofcanada.ca, and click on platform. They will be able to read our policies.
Yeah, you see a lot of the problems that are happening with immigration in the UK, in Europe, and you're saying it's starting to have an impact here as well.
Absolutely. You know, when your population is growing by 3.2%, and when 100% of that growth of that population is coming from immigration, and if you look at the average growth of population in Western countries, last year it was 0.2%. That is mass immigration. That is having an impact not only economically but also culturally. You add to mass immigration the multiculturalism, the fact that the federal government is promoting multiculturalism. Both mass immigration and multiculturalism are destroying our culture and our country. Why? Because we are telling these immigrants not to be part of our society, not to integrate into our society. We're telling them you can keep your culture. It's okay if you don't speak English or French. And all these new immigrants are going to live in a ghetto. They won't integrate into our society, and we don't want that. And we want immigrants that will come here to share our values, you know, the Canadian values, the Western civilization values, the rule of law, equality of men and women, respect. And, you know, all culture are not equal. When you are importing the third world, your country is becoming a third world country. So it must be a privilege to be Canadian, and that's not the case anymore because we have open borders, mass immigration policy that we must stop.
Regular Canadians are noticing that our quality of life and the cost of living is going up. So, what will the PPC do in order to stabilize the economy and get things back?
But the first thing we must do is to end mass immigration, because right now you cannot buy a house in Canada. Young couples or young people cannot buy a house. It's too expensive, and it is expensive because of the demand. We have last year 1.2 million newcomers. All these people need a roof, and so that is pushing up housing prices. So, and the way to solve that is not to try to build more houses, because last year we built about 240,000 new houses. But just to meet the demand, we will need to build, sorry, more than 700,000 new houses. We need to triple the number of houses that we are building each year. And everybody is saying that is impossible, except Pierre Poliev, but everybody. So the solution to end the housing crisis is to end mass immigration. So that is a huge impact. Also, our quality of life, healthcare. The waiting lists are huge in Canada. You add more people, they will need healthcare services, and we are not able to give good services for our Canadians. We cannot afford to have more immigrants that we won't be able they won't be able to have a roof, they won't be able to have services. That's why we need to stop that. But also add to that our huge deficit, the deficit that we had a couple of years ago, and the deficit of this year that is um, $40 billion. That's a lot of money. $40 billion. That's double the budget of the national defense. So we cannot afford that. And because of these deficits, we have the Bank of Canada that is printing money out of thin air, and that is creating inflation. So yes, you're right to say that we are poor because the economy is growing. Yes, the economy is growing because of mass immigration, because we have more people here. And so I'm telling you, the cake is growing, but our part of the cake is smaller. Our slice of the cake is smaller because the GDP per capita is going down. What I'm telling you is the growth of the population is growing faster than the growth of the economy. So there's a problem there. That's another impact of mass immigration. Everybody is poor. So add to that the deficit and inflation and taxes. So the way to solve that is to balance the budget, cutting foreign aid. We can save $10 billion over there, cutting corporate welfare, subsidies to businesses. We can save another $10 billion there. Cutting CBC, Radio Canada will save another $1.2 billion there. It's easy to balance the budget. We can do that in 1 year. But Poliev won't speak about that because he thinks that it is not popular. So, and he wants to buy votes with money that we don't have, money that is creating inflation. So, to fix this country, to regain our standard of living, to regain our sovereignty as a country, and mass immigration, balancing the budget, cutting the spending, sending money to Ukraine. Poliev said that he wants to give more money to Ukraine. The federal government, the Trudeau government, gave more than $10 billion to Ukraine. We don't have that money. Imagine what we can do with $10 billion. How many hospitals can we build with that? It's crazy. So we must end that. Foreign aid, we have a plan for the future of this country that is based on real uh, Western civilization principles. That's it. Our plan is based on what we did the last 100 years, 150 years to have a rich country. So we must go back to that. Socialism, globalism is not working.
I talk to a lot of people that are concerned about the SOGI education in schools
Yeah.
and also the medical transitioning of minors in this country. And the NDP seems to be quite supportive of that and wants to expand it. What's your position on all that?
We're against that, and that's not new for us. I said that we must start to stop to push that radical ideology, the ideology that a girl can be a boy and a boy can be a girl. There's only two sexes, and the transitioning, the idea that a kid can transition to the other sex, it's it's not happening. And nobody will be able to transition. That is mutilation. When you're hearing, oh, we will transition a girl to a boy, what you must hear is we will mutilate that person. And it's a crime. For me, it must be illegal, it must be criminal to give uh, a puberty blocker of hormones, puberty blocker hormones to uh, kids and to minors. It must be illegal. It must be illegal to give surgeries to a minors to try to change their sex. You can do what you want with your body when you're 18 years old, but before that, a doctor who is promoting that to a minor or a nurse who is promoting that to a minors must go to jail. That's a crime. That's mutilation, and that must not happen in our country. So we are not afraid to speak about that. But Polyev, the conservatives, the liberals, the NDP, they promote these radical and ideology. I can tell you that in 25 years, uh, historian will look at what we did to our kids. They're going to say they were crazy. Yes, we must stop that. And you it's only the common sense to do that. And if you have kids and you want to protect kids, that's the only thing you must do.
I saw a recent article from Science magazine about how we're at a historic low for global surface temperature, and also that we're at a low point for carbon in the atmosphere. Uh, if that's the case, then all this talk about the rising temperatures and the rising CO2 levels in the atmosphere, the idea that there's a climate crisis, is a complete hoax. What's your take on that?
You're right. It's a lie. It's fraud. Actually, CO2 is a gas for life. That is food for plants. That is what I'm emitting right now by speaking to you. We need more CO2. For example, if you have a greenhouse and you want to grow plants, they are putting CO2 there for being sure that the plants will grow and will grow faster and greener. So, on this planet, CO2 is not a pollutant. It is a gas that is necessary for life. And all these climate emergency, like you just said, there's no climate emergency. The climate is changing, will always change, and we must have more CO2, not less. So what they are doing, these globalists and radical environmentalists, they want to control our life. They're using that as an excuse to control our life. They want to stop us to um, drive cars, and they are promoting electric cars that are very costly, and it's a kind of a subsidies for the rich, because provincial and some governments are giving subsidies if you are buying a electric car, but it's good for the rich, but the poor cannot afford that. So we need to stop that. We need to stop these subsidies to the green industry. Polyev and the liberals won't do that. We will do that. We are the only national political party that will stop to subsidize the green industry, that will withdraw from the Paris Accord. I understand that Polyev is saying axe the tax. Yeah, but he will put more regulations or maybe another tax to fight climate change because he's okay with the Paris Accord. We must not try to put more regulations or more taxes on Canadians to fight something that is not a problem. So let's withdraw from the Paris Accord, and everything will be good. So for us, no carbon tax, no regulation, no Paris Accord. That's a big difference with all these establishment political parties.
What do you say to people who say that a vote for you is splitting the vote?
They are not splitting anything. We are so different than the conservative on these policies that we are discussing right now. But people who are saying that, it's because they want to get rid of Trudeau. That's the main priority. And I can tell them, if they look at the polls and at the focus group, Trudeau will be out. Trudeau won't win the next election. Polyev will win. When you look in the polls that Polyev is 22 points in advance, he will have a huge majority. So I'm telling these people, you want Trudeau out? He will be out. Look at the polls. And now, you can vote for your ideas. You can vote for what you believe. You can vote in line with your principles. Vote for the People's Party of Canada. we won't change. Actually, we will be your insurance that Pierre Poliev is honest. We will push him in the right direction. So a vote for the People's Party is win-win because at the same time, you're going to get rid of Trudeau. Look at the polls. And also, you can vote for your ideas. There's no risk anymore. There is just an upside to that because the more vote we will have, the more influential we will be. And that's our goal, to influence the national debate and bring back the real common sense.
Common sense.
Yeah.
The things that you're saying are in line with what I believe in.
Thank you. And I hope that they are in line with a lot of Canadians. But I can tell you, if they are in lines with Canadians, I won't pander to them. I won't change our ideas to have their vote. I'm telling them, if you don't like today what I'm saying, please don't vote for me. If you like what I'm saying, I hope you'll support us because we are doing politics by conviction and we won't change. What I said in 2019, 2018, when I created that party, it is the same today. It is the same ideas. And what I'm telling you today, it will be the same in 2025 at the next election. It will be the same after the election. We don't do polling and focus group to try to tell you what you want to hear because we know that the population has been manipulated by the leftist media and the liberals and the radical woke. So we are telling the population our vision for this country. And we believe that we have the best vision for this country. And the more we speak about it, the more support we will have. So that's the People's Party. And that's why I believe we can be very influential in this country to do that quiet, peaceful revolution. And I want this country to be like it was 10 years ago. I don't want this country to be like France or UK when there's no go zone over there because of mass immigration, when, because of multiculturalism, there's social tension. And I don't want that in this country. So let's have a moratorium on immigration. Let's speak about the real issues for this country. And I hope that more people would be able to understand and to support us.
The views of the Liberal Party and the NDP, they seem so far left right now that it's nearing like a Marxist communist view, and they seem to be taking the country in that direction.
But actually, if you look at the past, not only the Liberals and the NDP, the Conservative, just remember what happened during the COVID hysteria. Poliev was there saying, Canadians must have the shot faster. That was his position. And he was not for freedom of choice. Now he's saying freedom, freedom, freedom. But you must judge a politician by his actions. And Poliev was not there when Canadians needed him during that COVID hysteria. I was there. I was there in the cold with our truckers. I was fighting. Our candidates were there. We were fighting for your freedom. We were fighting to end these draconian measures. Poliev, Trudeau, and the NDP and the Bloc Québécois in Quebec all voted for these draconian measures. And that was a draconian authoritarian government, a government that does not respect our constitution. I'm supposed to be free to travel freely across this country. I was not free. Non-vaccinated Canadians were not free to travel. As you remember, we had a vaccine passport. We were not able to travel by plane, by boat, or by train across this country if you were not vaccinated. That was discrimination against our Charter of Rights, and Poliev was okay with that with these establishment politicians and globalists.
So lockdowns, vaccine mandates, those won't happen with the PPC.
No, they won't. Judge us and judge me by what I said and what I did in the past. That will tell you what I will do in the future. So, what I did, I went to jail. I went to jail to fight for our freedoms in Manitoba, a leader of a national political party fighting for freedoms. I was in jail because of that. So, I'm not afraid to tell the truth and walk the talk. I'm doing that all the time, and I did that in the past, and I will do that in the future.
Maxime, it's been a pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you very much for giving me that opportunity. And I must say that if your viewers want to know more about our party, they can go on our website, peoplespartyofcanada.ca, click on platform, read our platform. They can become a member, they can donate. And if they don't like, just, forget us and vote for a globalist establishment political party. But I can tell you, our ideas are very powerful and our time will come.